Well, we've been hearing from the sheriff, and I've just wanted to be getting your side on everything that's going on today with the tiger seizure. Are you comfortable doing a quick interview?
Yeah, let's go. What do you need to know?
Okay. I'm going to make sure that Scott, the photographer, is recording, so we're doing a video. So I wanted to ask you just your breakdown of everything that's happening today.
Well, breakdown is this. My tigers are my emotional support animals. I'm a 100% disabled veteran with PTSD. The VA and my doctors have approved the tigers for me as emotional support animals. Nye County has some, crazy zoning things that they think that I should have a permit, but the law says, the federal law says that it's called the supremacy clause, that zoning and they can't make those kinds of rules to violate my federal rights with the tigers. But they chose to do that. They chose to come with their machine guns and their Bearcat and ram my gate, and none of that was necessary. But now the tigers are going to be going to 3 different places around the country. It's part of a political deal called Global Federation of Animals, and that's part of the whole Carol Baskin story. It's like they seize the animals, they get money for the animals, and I never get my animals back.
So Karl, let me ask you, and first of all, if you could hold it back just a little because it keeps going in and out a little bit.
Sorry.
So that's okay. So you're essentially saying because of federal law that you have federal documentation showing these tigers as your support animals that you don't need to have a permit.
According, I'm not saying it. The law says it. According to the law, it's called the supremacy clause. It's a federal law. And the county and city cannot make rules that countermand something that's allowed in federal. The federal government, the VA, they give me the authority to have these tigers as my emotional support animals. Emotional, whether it was a dog or a tiger, they have violated the federal law, the supremacy clause, by pushing a county ordinance, seizing my animals, scaring people, pointing their guns. So, we'll just have to see how it goes and comes in the end.
They were also talking about the conditions. They said animal services could decide to have some charges, but they said in some areas there were little water, I don't know what you call them, containers that didn't have water. So they're trying to see if animal services will decide to have any types of charges when it comes to the conditions of the tigers. What is your response to that?
That's not true. They have 5-gallon.
I'm so sorry, Karl, can you make sure to go back a little? It keeps cutting out. Okay, go ahead and start there.
They have 5-gallon containers for water, and they're watered every day. When they show up at 6 o'clock in the morning and won't let me go down and take care of them, I can't do anything about that. I also had a truck full of food to feed them this morning. I didn't get to do that either.
So tell me about Big Cat Encounters. Where is that operated? Is that operated on that property or somewhere else, and is that still operating?
Big Cat Encounters is a nonprofit, and basically it's for education and for the animals. People want to know about tigers. People haven't seen tigers, and that's what Big Cat Encounters is all about. This isn't about Big Cat Encounters. This is Karl Mitchell that they're going after.
Mm-hmm. And Big Cat Encounters, was that operated on the same property, or is that something else? Okay. So another discussion they were having today was that their investigation began. Let me pull my notes here, but it talked about, I guess it had to do with an eviction, and they were saying that you were being evicted a few months ago, and the sheriff says the owner of the property wasn't being allowed onto the property to inspect. Is that true, and what is the status of that eviction right now?
This is the status. I bought that property. I bought it. I have $140,000 note, and that's due next year. The old man died, so his relatives or whatever, they want to sell it. My deal is $140,000. They want $300,000 now, so that's what the deal is all about. So we've gone to court. The judge it hasn't been ruled that I'm in the wrong. So.
Mm-hmm. You were also you were arrested according to the sheriff's office for resisting an officer. What happened exactly?
Well, they come up there with their guns, and my girl is crying because she knows they're going to take the tigers. I go to comfort her, and you can't go over there, you can't move, and they slam me, and that's why I have a bump on my head. Bleeding. So they want to call that resistance. They got to make it sound like I'm a bad guy, but I don't really care what they say. I know what happened, they know what happened, and they know what's going to happen in the end.
So, do you plan on taking legal action, and against who?
Absolutely. And I'm going to sue for some real money, because I probably will not be able to get the tigers back. Have you seen the applicant, where they go? Do you know anything about where?
They said that they were going to be temporarily going to a sanctuary out of state, but they won't tell us where.
Yeah. Why is that, do you think? Why are they taking my property and they won't tell anybody where they're going? Why do you think that is? Because this is an illegal seizure.
But you're going to try to get your tigers back.
I'm going to try. I may fail, but I'm going to at least try.
So with the allegations of basically illegally possessing these animals, you're saying you have federal documentation for support animals, and you're also saying that the conditions of the animals did follow laws.
That's correct. 100%.
And so you're not booked yet, is that correct?
That's right. I'm sitting around here waiting for them to decide what charge they're going to try, So,
How long have you lived on that property, and how long have you had the tigers on that property?
16 years. 16 years. I've been fighting. Facts are, they didn't have the authority to do the things that they did. They just abused their authority. And I have no recourse right now. But there's a chance for some better recourse in the future.
So, knowing that you do have that federal documentation, but they're saying, hey, if you have a permit, it will solve the problem, why not just get the permits?
Because why not get the permit? First, it's a long run. They're not going to give me a permit. Okay, that's the whole hook. A conditional use permit, they want to tell you, well, you can let them in, you can let them out, you can't have people come to visit. They make conditions that I don't think are proper. Those are my emotional support animals. I spend my time with my animals. I spend all my money. I'm a disabled veteran. I get 100% disability, and I take my disability check, and I buy food and take care of my animals who are not skinny or they're all fat. As a matter of fact, there's 300 pounds of chicken in my truck right now that I can't do anything with because, I'm separated from my truck and the tigers. So that's just going to wind up being thrown out.
So essentially those are your support animals, but then people are able to come learn about them on the property as well through your company.
No,
Okay.
People who want to view a tiger, and they're my friends, not the public. I'm, not somebody, that the public. They can view the animals, or I can talk to them about them. They're inside cages, which is not a violation of any kind of law. They got to be in a cage. I take them, I can pet them, I can sit them. If you were with me, we can go and pet them if that's what you want to do. However, because of the Big Ken Public Safety Act and Carol Baskin and Joe Exotic, those people all have caused problems. And I can't say it's not without cause, but the bottom line is, I rescued those tigers from Joe Exotic. Okay?
Say that again, please.
I rescued those tigers from Joe Exotic.
The Tiger King.
Okay. The Tiger King. The Tiger Queen, whatever you want to call him. But at any rate, those animals were not in any danger or any jeopardy. The public wasn't in any danger or any jeopardy. They had one code enforcement officer who's used to be an animal control officer who led the charge that my emotional support animals don't matter. So my emotional condition doesn't matter. My PTSD doesn't matter. All that matters is I have a permit from them. And they're not going to give me a permit. I've been through this about a dozen times, if not more.
So you think they won't give you a permit because of the ways you want to utilize the tigers?
No, I won't. They won't give me a permit because of animus. They don't like me. I'm a smart ass. I happen to have emotional support animals that are given to me by the federal government, and they don't like that.
No, it's not.
So you rescued these animals from Joe Exotic, is that correct? All 8 of them?
Correct.
All 8 of your tigers?
Not all 8. 6 of them.
6 of the ones that were seized today?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's next for you?
I was like, what the fuck?
I'm not sure. What's next is, getting out of this bullshit here, the freedom, and then I'll probably have to sue the county for violation of my federal rights and for, the emotional support animal deal. According to, if you read, I don't know if you're that kind of a person, but if you read and find out about emotional support animals, and you'll find out that I'm 100%
That's not
legal in what I'm doing.
And so Catherine is your girlfriend?
That fucking
Yes, she's my significant other.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's the 2 of you live on that property with the tigers?
Yes.
Okay.
And our dogs.
And our dogs. And so she was going to provide a document of that federal document so we can take a picture and utilize that. So essentially, you have an attorney, is that correct? So is that will you be discussing with the attorney what to do next?
Yeah, that's, yes, that's correct. We'll be dealing with that on some level. The bottom line is, I leased optioned a property more than 15 years ago. The old man that leased it to me was a great guy. He loved the tigers and he wanted it to be a sanctuary for the tigers and a permanent home. He died 2 years, not quite 2 years ago. I think it was, he died like in March. And of course, his relatives immediately want to sell and get money for the property, and they want to ignore that I have all of these years, all of this time. I did things for the old man. He needed $5,000 for, I don't know how personal I wanted. I don't know if I really want to tell him. He needed money, and I loaned him $5,000 on 2 different occasions, and
God, I'm full of
to
those
help him out. And
Huh?
it's wrong. But bottom line
In the
is,
lobby?
my deal, my standing is that they owe me for my money. Catherine put $40,000 into this house to fix it.
Today.
And that $40,000, when the old man died, his heirs said, "Oh, don't worry, it's all going to be fine. It's going to be just like it was. Don't
I know
worry."
that look and I know that
And he
attitude.
told it to Catherine as well, which is why she took $40,000 of her money to put it into the place was a wreck. The place had black mold. The place was really, really not,
I'm yours. I'm yours.
habitable.
All of this.
But the land was good for the tigers, and it was proper zoning for them to be in and so that's why.
No.
And so tell me the name of the previous owner whose family members are now trying to get you evicted from the property. What was his name?
Ray Milzinski. They called him Ray the Flag Man.
So he was in support of having the tigers on the property and what you were doing while living there.
Little attitude going.
100%. One of his, if you're going to, are you here right now?
I'm
By
in.
Catherine?
She I think is outside she's somewhere. I don't know. She's not in the room right now, but we are at the jail.
Okay, well, she has a copy of the pictures of the flag man. We saved the tigers, because his whole thing was all about making it a nice place for the tigers because he had this property that he wasn't using. So Catherine probably has that with her, and she'll show you, the condition of the house as well as the flag man saying, we saved the tigers, because that's what it was all about.
But his family, you're saying, doesn't want that.
No, because my deal, our deal, I owe $149,000, which I would pay in cash tomorrow, but they don't want to accept what is owed. They want $350,000.
That's to buy the property?
Yes.
And that was the deal that you had with the previous owner who passed away?
Yes, and my deal was $149. I paid $500 a month for more than 10 years, and the payoff at the end was $140,000, and that was supposed to be any time. It could happen now. It could happen in another month or so. But he died, and when he died, he told me before he died, he just kept saying, "I hope that we can get this worked out because the family they're not going to work with you. They're not going to." They had 2 pieces of property. They had another piece that he had that was a bigger piece, and they got I think they got like $400,000 for that piece of property.
So Karl, the time
They're
is
not
about. Sorry, the time is about to run out. Is there anything else you think we missed that you wanted to add while we have about 20, 30 seconds?
Okay, the bottom line is that the animals did not deserve to be snatched up, knocked out with drugs, and shipped off across the country when they were happy and content where they had lived for more than 10 years.
Well, I appreciate your time, Karl. I received Catherine's contact information so that I can stay in touch with her and maybe speak with you upon release as well, if that's okay.
Yeah, that'd be fine. If you ask Catherine where the book is, she has it with her probably.
And you said which book is this?
This is the book that has the emotional support letter from the VA. It also has pictures from the flag man saying we saved the tigers,
You feel
and it
sick,
also
and
shows the terrible conditions
I
that
knew exactly what the
had
fuck was gonna
to
happen.
live under with the
Put my
house.
ass in, sweet talk me like a
Okay.
motherfucker.
Carl,
You
thank you
did.
so much. I really appreciate your time.